Welcome. Today we're going to talk about fruits and veggies, why more matters. My name is Marjorie Zastrow and I'm an SDSU Extension Field Specialist in the area of nutrition. First of all, we're going to look at some of the statistics across South Dakota regarding fruit and vegetable consumption. We're going to share a little bit of information about why fruits and vegetables are good for you, and then we're going to look at some cost-effective purchasing strategies and present some fun ideas to incorporate fruits and vegetables into your diet. South Dakota ranks only 7.5% of the residents in grades 9 through 12 in South Dakota consumed 5 servings of fruit and vegetables per day in the year 2007. And it's not increased that much when they do that survey every 2 years. The 2011 data is beginning to show us that only 19% consumed 5 servings per day. When we look at the adult statistics regarding fruit and vegetable consumption, there was only 25.2% of the adults that consumed 2 or more cups of fruit per day, and South Dakota ranked last in the nation of 19.6% consuming 3 or more cups of vegetables per day. And so those are some of the reasons why we should care, and in South Dakota we want to look at increasing the consumption of fruits and vegetables for both youth as well as adults. And why we should care is the decreased risk of chronic disease. When those are compared with who eat more fruits and vegetables as compared to those who eat fewer, we see a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, obesity, hypertension, diabetes, as well as some cancers. When we look at the fruit and vegetable and the nutrient content, fruits and vegetables contain about 62% of the vitamin A that we get on a daily basis. They contain about 91% of vitamin C. Fruits and vegetables are also a significant source of vitamin K, folate, and niacin. Potassium, magnesium, and iron and calcium are some of the significant nutrients in fruits and vegetables. And they're also a good source of total dietary fiber as well as rich in total fiber. When we look at dietary fiber, that's important for our digestive tract and our overall general health and well-being. Fruits and vegetables contain a significant amount of water, which helps to meet our 8 cups a day of water. Fruits and vegetables are generally low in calories when we exclude the dips, dressings, and sauces that may be added onto them. And then too, when we eat fruits and vegetables, oftentimes they help to fill us up as part of our daily meals and included as snacks, and then we're less likely to include some other food items which will be likely higher in fat, sodium, and calories. When we look at parents and that role model as adults are, when we're born with an inherent taste towards sweetness, oftentimes we we become acquired to that taste of salt and bitterness. And so vegetables are something that in our diet, when we look at some of the cruciferous vegetables, and that would be the broccoli, the cabbage, and some of those, they're not necessarily inherently sweet. And so we acquire a taste for some of those types of foods. And so when we're looking at children, it takes about 8 to 12 times to offer children the different fruits and vegetables, sometimes when they're not quite that sweet, to get them to really like them and consider it a part of a meal without having that battle on a daily basis about eating vegetables. And when children 3 to 5 have become to like fruits and vegetables, they'll begin to ask for them, and they learn to like them just as well as other foods in the diet. And then too, it's not just the children, but we as adults are picky eaters. Oftentimes we may not serve fruits or vegetables because we don't like them, and therefore we're denying their children an opportunity to gain those and accept those as part of their daily diet. And then when we are looking at some choices, we can look at some structured choices. When we look at offering vegetables, you can have peas or you can have carrots. Or if we're going to offer the choice of peas or potato chips, oftentimes we're going to pick that higher fat, higher sodium item. And so offering structured choices and good choices, nutrient-dense choices with fruits and vegetables, and we'll become accustomed to increasing them in our daily diet. When we look at the recommended consumption, up to 2.5 cups a day of vegetables and up to 2 cups a day of fruit is what is recommended for the adults. In children 2 to 3 years, up to 1 cup a day, and that would be both for fruit as well as vegetables. As we age, we don't need any fewer fruits and vegetables because our bodies become, we need fewer calories, but we will still need about the same amount of nutrients, and so it becomes a little bit tougher to reduce calories, but yet to keep that nutrient intake up there. And so fruits and vegetables, are still an important part of the diet for the young as well as the old. When we look at some of the purchasing decisions, we want to consider fresh, frozen, or canned. And fresh has generally the most amount of nutrients. Canned has a slight amount less, but not any significant amount, to exclude those from our meal choices on a daily basis. We want to look at seasonal items, that's which is in season, and that changes in South Dakota. You know, from what we have available from the summer to the winter. In the winter we'll have more items that are brought in, but also the winter has good choices when we look at frozen and canned options. Look at your grocery sale ads and pick those out on a daily basis or a weekly basis, depending on how you shop and how the grocery store advertises. Look at something that's locally grown. There are a number of people that do have gardens, and if you don't have a garden, consider that share or swap. If I give you some of this, and maybe it's swapping for some different lawn care or some different activity or child sitting, if you get some of their vegetables, but maybe consider a share and a swap. And then also look at the cost of convenience. Today there's a lot of convenience food out there, but we are paying a price for it. When in a recent comparison in August of 2012, baby carrots were $1.68 a pound. Of course, they're peeled and ready to eat, whereas a pound of carrots that you had to peel and cut, which would take only moments, was 55 cents a pound. A deli cut celery was $4.99 a pound, and a stalk of celery was $1 a pound. And it doesn't take much to take the bottom off, rinse it, and cut those ribs maybe just in lengths, and or if you want to split the ribs beyond that. And the similar price for broccoli too was $5 a pound ready to eat, whereas it was $1.92 a pound if you bought just one head. And in the fruit section there was cord pineapple, that was $6.32 a pound, and it was $6.32 for a cord pineapple piece, which was approximately a pound, and your other pineapple was $2.78. And so you can save a significant amount of money in purchasing fruits and vegetables if you take a few moments to do some of the preparation work yourself. And then if you make it at home, offer again some structured choices. Look at fruits and vegetables as snacks, as mini meals, and then have children help. They may be able to wash, spread, arrange, slice, dice, and create some things. And then most importantly, being a role model for children, for the families that you live with and are around you, as well as your community. When you're going to a potluck, maybe rather than taking a dessert, maybe you want to consider that dessert as a fruit salad without some of the added sugars. And also, if you are taking something, maybe taking a vegetable tray rather than some of the chips and dip. And so you can be a role model for those others in your community and provide some healthful options. When you're looking at some of the different food art, these were some bouquets that were created, and it's skewers on a stick. It was, for the most part, just washing, assembling, cutting, slicing, a little bit of dicing. If you're doing any of the food art and creating some things like that, avoid overripe fruit and begin with chilled fruit. It will skewer much better, and it will also refrigerate a little bit longer. And so it's just one creative idea that you can look at serving fruits and vegetables to your family and friends. This is some other activities that were done with children, and when the children were making it, is if you make it and some of the things were pre-prepared for them, if you make it, you eat it. And this was done in a child care setting, or you could do it for a family activity over a holiday, and they can help make some of the centerpieces for you. Additional information on eating fruits and vegetables can be found at myplate.gov on the CDC, and then Google food art images has lots of creative ideas for you to do. You can also go to igrow.org for further information on serving fruits and vegetables more matters. Thank you for your time today.